From Global's newsroom, I'm Rachel Mather. In the last hour, a man's been jailed for life for murdering a cyclist in Reading. Shazib Khalid, of no fixed address, deliberately knocked Vignesh Batabi Rahman off his bike in Addington Road back in February. A second man was given 4 years for assisting an offender. A retired GP has been jailed after assaulting 7 patients in Bracknell. 65-year-old Stephen Cox from Shropshire abused women during medical examinations in the 80s and 90s. Several of them were pregnant or had come out of abusive relationships. A year on from Hamas attacks on Israel, we've been speaking to a former UN worker in Oxford. Liz Alcock's been to Gaza twice, helping with the humanitarian effort.
It's traumatic what people are forced to witness and undergo in terms of injuries and death, but it's also deeply psychologically damaging.
Today, Sir Keir Starmer's warned there's a real danger of a regional war in the Middle East.
This is LBC.
A teenager's been sentenced to more than 9 years in jail after causing a crash in Oxfordshire that killed 3 friends. Thomas Johnson had inhaled nitrous oxide before the collision in June of 2023. LBC News reporter Rachel Mather is following the case.
Overtaken at what she describes as extreme excessive speed. A matter of seconds later, they've come around the bend to find the same vehicle that's overtaken her in the trees.
That was the scene that police met after a horror crash in Marcham that claimed 3 young lives. Ethan Goddard, Elliot Pullen and Daniel Hancock all died when the car they were in hit a tree in June 2023. Today, the driver, 19-year-old Thomas Johnson, has been jailed for 9 years and 4 months. Sergeant Matt Cadmore was one of the first on the scene and remembers the night well.
I would describe them as children, 18 and 17, and ultimately then it was the task of giving the worst news to the parents that anyone would ever expect.
Johnson was driving at speeds of more than 100 miles per hour and had consumed nitrous oxide, something he was unable to recall in his police interview.
We were told that you were inhaling nitrous oxide. Yes. Do you remember that?
No recollection at all.
Sergeant Tony Jenkins has told us what the impact of inhaling the drug, which was legal at the time but has since been banned, can have.
It produces a short high for 1 to 5 minutes, but it does have an effect for 30 to 45 minutes afterwards. So you may not feel that you're impaired, but navigating road junctions, it will have an impact on your decision making.
A 5th friend who'd been with the group earlier that night told police others in the car had also inhaled the drugs. Sergeant Jenkins says this tragedy will leave a lasting impression on everyone involved.
Just something that strikes me throughout the case is the impact this has had on the 3 males that have died, but also the impact on Thomas, the impact on his family, the impact on the wider community. It's always a choice to say no, to highlight to the driver that you feel vulnerable, and I'd encourage people to do so because it all goes wrong so very quickly.